Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. I am Venus. In this yoga sequence today, we are going to be doing some beginner yoga. And if you know yoga very well, you're intermediate or even advanced, sometimes this is just kind of nice to review, to reset your body to make sure everything's lining up with the breath and the posture. We're going to do some flexing and a little bit of some strengthening and some stretching. And like I said, if it's more of a review for you, that's good, because every once in a while we just got to bring ourselves back to the basic beginning foundation. To start this today, we're not really going to need any props. You're welcome to use them if you would like, but we are going to start in Baddha Konasana, reclined Baddha Konasana, or reclined butterfly pose. Lay flat on your back, melting your shoulders and your back into the mat. Bottom of your feet come together, and then open them up like a pair of butterfly wings, really melting the shoulders into the mat. Palms facing up. One time we're going to curl the tailbone under and then bring it back down so you get the feel of your tailbone curling under, because a lot of times that tailbone curling under is a lot of what we do for certain poses for a foundation. And then breathing. Your breath is super important. You want to keep even intervals of breath. It's not always, like the pranayama is not always the same, but for this one today, it's pretty basic. So you're going to breathe in your nose and out your mouth. As you breathe, I want you to be able to feel your breath from the chest to your abdomen to your lower abdomen. So as we inhale, you're going to feel your chest rise first, then the middle of your stomach, and then your lower stomach. So inhale. And as you exhale, you're going to feel your air leaving the bottom of your stomach through the abdomen and up through your chest and your mouth. So let's lie here and try not to wiggle around too much. Just relax and breathe. In through the chest, the abdomen, and the lower belly. Exhaling through the stomach, lower belly, back up through the abdomen and your chest. Take a couple more breaths here. Inhaling to the bottom of your stomach and exhaling back through your top of your chest and your throat. If you'd like to, during this time of the breathing, to help you better, you can place one hand on the chest and one hand on your lower stomach. Just kind of helps you feel as you're breathing. One more breath. And then just to loosen the neck a little bit, we've got some of your trapezius muscles here. We'll just kind of turn the head to the side. And you'll find these muscles all along, down through your neck, in towards the shoulder area. One more time, rock your head side to side. From this position, go ahead and lift your knees up. Grabbing each knee, you're going to pull them into your chest, mainly using the strength in your arms. Just slowly, inch by inch, feeling a nice massage in the bottom of your back. Around a little bit. Maybe move side to side. Now from here, go ahead and drop your feet down. If you need to turn in a fetal position to sit up, because we're going to sit on that, you can bring your hands beside you, palms together, knees up, and then slowly press into the mat. Or also you can come up if you want to challenge a little bit, or if you already do this, you can grab behind the thighs and roll on up. And I want you to sit up really tall in our staff pose. This is where you're pressing through the heels, flexing the toes up, and bring your hands back behind you a little bit to help your spine sit up really tall. Looking forward, chin up a little bit. Bring your chin up in confidence. You got this. Shoulders back. And then bring your hands to your knees, sitting up really tall. Feel yourself drop your shoulders down. Let's do that a couple of times. What we're going to do is we'll raise our shoulders up to our ears, kind of hover them there for a minute, and then bring them back down. So roll the shoulders up. Maybe bring them to your ears, kind of press a little bit, and then drop them down and relax. Bring them up one more time to the ears. Press and roll them down, completely down. Breathing. Now let's cross our right leg over our knee here. We're going to take a twist, a side twist. So you can either hug your knee with your elbow, the opposite elbow, and bring your hand back and lift the head up if your neck allows. And try to look behind you. Another way you could do it if you'd like to is you can bring your elbow, for a little bit more challenging, pressing into that knee. Again, pressing up straight through your spine. And come back around. And then let's drop the foot beside the heel, or beside the knee. And we're going to fold on down this way. Bring your elbows down, your palms are facing up. This is more passive. If you really bring your navel to spine, you'll be able to bring yourself down a little more. Breathe. Round through the shoulders, maybe press back to feel the shoulder blades come apart. Walk the fingertips back up. And then let's do that same sequence on the left side. So you're going to bring your ankle over by your knee. Again, either hugging into your knee, or you can use your elbow and press back on the knee. Whichever way is comfortable for you. And then sitting up tall through the spine. Look back behind you again if your neck allows. If not, maybe tip the chin up. You can have your eyes open or closed. If you want to try, you can bring your navel to spine a little more, make a little bit of room there. Come back around and let's bring the foot by the knee and fold on down. As you're doing this, I don't want you to just hang out on your thigh. Keeping your palms facing up, really bring your navel to spine, and then drop the head down and round through the shoulders. This is also giving you a good foundation for your back. And then walk your fingertips back up. And bring the legs down, and we'll come into a forward fold. Again, rounding through your shoulder blades, navel to spine. If you can, press on through on the heels. You can either grab your legs at your thighs and lean forward, keeping a straight back, or come down a little bit more, maybe to the calves, keeping a straight back. If you're going to grab your ankles, you can go ahead and come all the way down and round through the shoulder blades. Let's take a couple more breaths here. And if you're staying relaxed doing this, sometimes you can come even further in your pose. And then slowly walk the hands up. As you're breathing, this is why it's so important, your breath is going to take you through the pose, and it's going to help you get even further in your pose. From here, we'll swing our legs around. We're going to come into cat and cow. So you're going to come up on your hands and knees. Your knees are going to be underneath the hips. Navel to spine, you want to have a neutral back. Palms in front. All the fingers are spread apart, facing forward. Pressing your fingerprints into the mat, keeping the strength in your fingertips so you don't hurt your wrist. Your arm creases are shining forward. Maybe open the legs about hip width distance apart. We're going to start off here. You're going to sink down the back. And as you're sinking down the back, you're going to round through the shoulder or bring your shoulders back. Inhale deep and then drop the head into your cat. Not bending through your elbows at all. And back down into cow. Inhale. Exhale into cat. Pushing through the shoulder blades, coming back a little bit through the hips. And inhale into your cow, bringing the shoulders back. Let's do that a few more times at your own pace. Cat. And cow. Remember to press the shoulders back in cow and round through in cat. Take a couple more. Come back to your neutral tabletop. From here, you can bring your left arm over just a little bit, and we're going to take the right hand and place it on the back of your head, navel to spine, and then we're just going to lift our arm up a little bit and back down, just opening up through the bottom of the shoulders. Just a nice little twist. Take two more. And then bring the hand back down. Take a breath here in your neutral tabletop. Again, you'll bring your right arm in a little bit this time and bring the left hand to the back of your head. And then you're just going to raise your up a little bit. Don't try to waist clear up. We don't want that. You just want to come up halfway, keeping the shoulder level with the floor. We're just trying to get a little bit of opening underneath that shoulder, in the front of the shoulder. Do a little bit of some strengthening. Let's do one more. And come down. Now we'll go ahead and thread the needle. We're going to take the opposite, the right hand, and bring it up. And then go ahead and thread it through your arm. You'll come back on your hips, resting your ear and your head on the mat. I want you to walk the left hand up. You're pressing into that right shoulder and pressing down through the other shoulder. So a nice stretch in the armpit. And in that arm that's on the floor, at the shoulder. And then press your hip to the right. Breathing. Navel to spine. And then gently bring your hand back. Take that right hand out. Come back to your neutral table. Breathe. Very good. And then take the left hand, bring it up, and thread it through. Coming down, maybe back on the hips a little bit. You're going to walk that right hand up, pressing through the armpit. Breathing. Really try to rest your ear into the mat. The back of your feet, the top of your feet, your nails should be pressed, your toenails should be pressed into the mat. And then slowly bring that arm down, the right arm down, and come back up into your neutral table. From here, I want you to curl your toes under. And then come back just a little bit, so a nice stretch on the toes and the bottom of your feet. Navel to spine, just look down at the mat. And now we'll take our first downward facing dog. From where your hands are already, you're just going to push up through the toes and lean all the way back. Bring your chest towards your knees. And if your heels aren't touching on the mat, that's okay if your feet are not flat. You're just going to press into each heel, kind of alternating each foot. Keep your navel to spine. Breathing. Maybe you can shake your head loose a little bit, shake through the neck. Pressing through the back and the shoulders.
I want you to drop down on your left heel, bending into that right leg. You're going to bring it straight up behind you and bring it through your hands. Your hands are kind of framing your foot. You're going to bring that back foot at a 45-degree angle and slowly, not pushing yourself up hard, you're going to flip your hands over, palms facing up, and slowly using your core strength, come up into your warrior one. You're going to come through your knee, drop down through your knee, arms up overhead, stretching up through the ribs, having your hips lined up, chin up. Whether you are up here or down here or even lower, that is up to where you are in your own body. We're just working on alignment here and posture. Let's take one more breath and we'll open up into warrior two. You're going to turn your body to the side and bring your feet parallel with the edge of your mat. Front foot faces forward. Drop down in that knee a little more. Probably feel a little bit of a burn. Maybe tipping the tailbone under for some foundation. You can have palms up or down here. Then we're going to bring our hand over, press into that front leg so your leg is straight. Sliding your hand down the back to your triangle pose. Open up through your chest. Breathe. And we are going to come down into our triangle and place one hand on the floor by your foot and then open up the chest, breathing. To come out of this, you're going to bend into your front knee and then gently bring yourself back up again using that core strength. From here, you're going to come into a goddess pose. You're just bringing your feet facing the corner of the mat. Bring your arms up overhead, maybe stretching a little bit side to side and then opening up your hands all the way so you're like in the shape of an X. Breathing. Making sure that pelvis and the tailbone is tipped under. Keeping that strong foundation. Smiling. You got this. Go ahead and come into a forward fold. Here, if you'd like to turn your feet to the side so they're parallel with the mat, you certainly can. You can stay up here. If you want to challenge yourself, you can drop down to your elbows and bring the head all the way down. Shake your head loose. And then take one hand and place it on your hip. And the opposite hand comes up on your hip. And then bring them out, pointing the feet back. We're going to come to our warrior one on the opposite side. So you're just going to point that foot forward. Bring the arms up. Breathing, you can come down into your knee. That back foot is at a 45-degree angle. If you need to readjust yourself at any time on the mat, please feel free to do that. Sometimes you just need to reset or redo a little bit, but
Back foot, 45-degree angle. The front foot comes facing like towards your wall or forward, dropping down in the knee. And the chin comes up, reaching up. Breathing. You can bring your hands together, palms together, or you can just have them up with your thumbs facing towards the back. And then open up into your warrior two. Again, if you need to readjust, do that. You need to keep your body, listen to what your body's telling you and your breath is telling you. And then drop down on that knee a little more. Navel to spine, hands can be down or up. I like to have my palms up because then you're going to come around into your reverse triangle, pressing that leg up, opening up through the chest, breathing. And let's reverse it. And bringing that hand down by your foot. And the other arm comes up. Opening up through the chest. And if you're unable to go down that far, just go ahead and stop at your knee. Just where you're comfortable. As long as you have your chest facing upward, you're really opening up through the chest. And again, if you're at your hand by your foot, to come out of it, go ahead and bend into your knee. Back into your warrior two. Now from here, we're going to cartwheel down. And we're going to come into our plank pose. You're going to bring your feet back, basically starting from where you're in your downward dog. To get to your plank, you're going to come forward with the top part of your body. Hands underneath the shoulders, rounding through your back. Navel to spine. Some more strengthening here, looking down at the floor. Raising up through your body. Breathing. Let's come all the way down slowly, all the way. Sliding the elbows up by the underarms, by the shoulders. You're going to press back into your sphinx pose. Looking straight ahead. Breathing. Your pelvis and your top of your feet, toenails are pressed into the mat. This keeps any of that unwanted pressure off of your back, your lower back. Really press your pelvis into the mat and your feet, top of your feet. From here, I like to come down and almost touch my head, my forehead to the mat, but you don't. Tucking through the chin and come up. Hang out here, maybe rock your head side to side. Loosening, keeping that neck loosened up and shoulders. From here, lower back down into your sphinx. Bring your hands beside you, pressing your elbows back towards one another. We're going to come up into a baby cobra. Again, really keep that pelvis pressed into the mat to keep any pressure off your lower back. If you are feeling pain, come down a little bit. You can always modify to whatever your body is telling you. And then from here, tuck your toes under once more. Come up into that downward facing dog.
And pedal your feet out here. Maybe see if you can reach your heels more towards the mat this time. See if you're any more flexible. Pedal it out. Maybe tip your hips to one side, tip the hips to the other side. And then we're gonna slowly walk our feet up, and then walk your hands up, and slowly walk up where you're in your mountain pose. Tadasana. Now here, you're gonna make sure that all four corners of your feet are planted into the mat. So go ahead and press down with your baby toe and your big toe on both sides, and then kind of rock back and forth on your heels. Make sure the balls of your feet, everything is flat, touching on the mat. And then raise your arms up again, lifting the head, palms facing each other. And let's come on down all the way to the floor, or if you have to stop at your knees or your calves or ankles, feel free. And then from here, I'm just going to turn so you guys can see me better. We're going to come into our sun salutation V, the chair pose. I want you to drop down through your knees and then slowly bring your hands up overhead. You're sliding back on your hips. Arms come up even higher. Navel to spine. Have a really good navel here to your spine for stability, a foundation for your back. And then drop on down. And slowly rise on up, rounding through your back. All the way up into your mountain pose again. Rolling the shoulders back. Your head is the last thing that lifts up. Breathe. Raise your arms up one more time. And come down with the hands. Back down into our downward facing dog. Pressing back through the hips. Pressing your chest back. Again, pedaling out your feet. We'll come into that plank pose one more time, really strong plank. Come forward through your body. Navel to spine, pushing up through the shoulders. Maybe come down halfway to your chaturanga. And then maybe come back into your plank. And come down into your chaturanga. And then drop your legs down. Feet flat on the floor. Into your upward facing dog. Shoulders come back. Almost if you were trying to pinch a pencil between your shoulder blades. That's possible. And then come all the way down. And come up, and let's come on into a child's pose. You can walk your knees up. Go ahead and bring your big toes together. We're going to keep our knees together here. You can have them as wide apart as you would like, but today I want our knees together because you're going to come down over your knees. I want your hands behind you, gently resting on the forehead or the top part of your forehead, and then press through the back, rounding. Come down a little bit, bringing your head up a little more. Notice as you are down like this, you are pressing back into your hips. And then lift up a little more. Really feel the breath. Breathing into your legs. Come up a little more. And then all the way up, swing your legs around. We're coming close to finishing the class here. Just a couple more things to help kind of relax, cool off a little bit. I want you to have your knees up here, palms facing up, tucking the tailbone under. We're going to come into our bridge pose. Try to bring your heels almost by your booty, by your glutes. And then raise on up, tucking that tailbone under again. Pelvis comes up. Curl the tailbone under. You'll notice here your legs might want to open up. Try to zip the thighs together. There shouldn't be any pressure on the top part of your body. You need to keep the top part relaxed. The strength is in your quadriceps, your thighs, your hamstrings, really pushing the knees together. Breathe. One more breath. And slowly, inch by inch, come back down. And let's bring your ankle over the knee. And then I want you to rock side to side. And reclined pigeon. And then let's bring that leg up in the back. You'll feel already a nice start to open up in the hip. Bring the hands behind the thighs, like in a figure four. But you'll notice as you're bringing your hands up to catch your leg, your shoulders want to come up. We don't want that. You want to keep your hands at the height where your shoulders can remain flat on the floor. And then, like I said, eventually with your breath, gravity will take over and you'll slowly be able to get further in the poses. And then really pressing into that heel, shoulders on the mat. Breathe. Give it one more squeeze in and bring the leg down. We'll come back into another bridge pose. Again, placing the heels behind your glutes, palms facing up, tucking and rounding that tailbone under. Rise on up, keeping the thighs together. Maybe here, bring your big toes together. Press up through that pelvis a little more. Breathe. If you get some pain, and just come down a little bit. No pressure. Not a competition. This is just letting your body do what it wants to do. And eventually gravity helps you get further in the pose. And we're going to slowly come down, inch by inch, vertebra by vertebra. And then take the opposite leg over the knee, ankle over the knee, and then rock side to side. Feel the hips opening and stretching. Bring that back leg up. Hi, Princessa. Hi. Hi, Buddha Bayo. Yeah. Thank you for doing yoga. You're going to thread your hand through. Again, making sure the shoulder blades are flat on the mat. Side for me is a little tighter today. And then pressing, pulling on that leg. Bring the leg to you. Breathe. Really keeping the shoulders on the mat. Again, if it's not working up there by your knee, bring your legs down behind the hamstrings. Pressing into the heel. And then bring the leg back down. Bringing both legs down. Get really comfortable here. We're going to come into our Savasana, our final resting pose. Breathing. As you're laying here breathing, I want you to notice where in your body do you feel like you need to sink further into the mat. I want you to bring each leg out to the corner of the mat, pressing into the heel to feel your calves sink into the mat. The whole back of your legs sink into the mat when you're pressing into your heels. And then slowly relax the heels. On your back, do you feel a space in your back there? If that's the case, I want to show you a trick to get rid of that. Bring your knees up, and just like in your bridge pose, you're curling your tailbone up. You can even like pull your knees towards you again, and then bring the legs back down. Press back into the heels gently, and you'll notice that space has gotten smaller or is gone. And then you can really sink your shoulders into the mat, melting the hands into the mat. Breathe. Focus on a beautiful light or something you can really focus on to relax. Feel the effects of today's sequence. If you're just beginning yoga, thank you so much for joining me. And again, if you're already in yoga and just checking it out, just to reset and make sure you're doing your assonance how they should be and breathing correctly, that is awesome too. Let's go ahead and bring your hands up overhead, melting the shoulders to the mat. We're going to rock our head side to side, breathing. We'll take a couple more breaths here. Place your hand back on your chest and back on your stomach. Inhale all the way down to the bottom of your stomach. And exhale to the top. Really feeling the effects. Let's twist our wrists a little bit around, rotate them around. Maybe wiggle the fingertips. Do the same, maybe bring your knees up to your chest. Rotate your heels, ankles. Wiggle the toes. Pull your knees into your chest. Now you're welcome to stay in Savasana, or I'm going to roll up here. And just to relax, a little bit longer if you have time, but a lot of people have to be off to work or something. So again, I want to thank you for joining me. This is Venus's Yoga Flow, and subscribe to my channel. That would be absolutely wonderful. I always appreciate it. This is a beginner class, but it is always nice for intermediate or advanced to come back to the basics of things. Let's go ahead and bring our hands in front of our heart, prayer position. You can keep them at the heart or bring them up to the third eye. Elbows come together. We're closed with a chant of Om or just an inhale and exhale.
Oh. Namaste. Everybody have a beautiful day.